Ever since the Harry and Meghan docuseries was released, the royal family and their representatives have been pretty vocal on how misleading and unfair it's been. In fact, they are more vocal now than they were when Meghan was being harassed by the British press. But we'll get into that later. For now, let's check out the inconsistencies the palace has pointed out, and how family, friends, and fans of Harry and Meghan are reacting to the documentary. First, the palace claims Meghan's lying. In the series, Markle says in one episode that she was never prepared for how to become a royal, how to dress, or even how to curtsy. In fact, to prove her point, she performs a super exaggerated curtsy in front of Harry, saying how she did the same thing when she met the Queen for the first time. Now, you may find the whole thing funny, but let us tell you, the British do not. In fact, royal aides are pissed, calling her a liar, and saying they absolutely did help her with the royalty aspect by sending a 30-point dossier on the standard procedures that she had to follow as part of the royal family and how to be a duchess. They've said that it included information about everything from minor fashion details to major how to live in Britain tips. Considering how careful the royals are about their public image and how strict their rules are for themselves, we think this isn't exactly false. And some more details from the media prove exactly that. Coming up, Meghan wanted to control her own style. Now, after Meghan said that she wasn't given any tips on how to become a royal, a lot of rage and anger was spread, including Piers Morgan claiming she and Harry lie all the time. Okay, dude, we know where to get our facts, and it's not on your doorstep. But whatever the media may say, there was this one instance back in 2021 when Meghan complained about how the palace controlled her every move, except for her wardrobe. This was also mentioned in the alleged leaked email where she was talking to her communications advisor, Jason Nauf, speaking of her frustration at the stylist narrative and how it wasn't true. So the question is, why would Meghan say that she wasn't coached when she wanted to control her own style all this time? We have the answer to that too. Now, Meghan wanted the agency to make choices. Love it or hate it, the Netflix docuseries does prove one thing, that Britain was pretty harsh to Meghan Markle for a variety of reasons, racism being one of them. And the fact that she went through all of that just because she was in love with one of the royals is just painful. The series shows that as soon as their relationship was revealed, she was thrown under the harsh spotlight of British media that wasn't at any moment kind to her. So, of course, at that time, she needed guidance that she may not have gotten from the palace. Whether she's lying is something we can't decide for ourselves because there's a lot of complicated history here, and we wouldn't want to make any assumptions. But if she meant she wasn't trained in the beginning, when their relationship was new and she was being hounded by the media, she wasn't exactly wrong. After all, what's more intimidating than realizing that the grandmother of the man that you love isn't someone who lives far off in a cottage and bakes cookies in her free time, but instead is the Queen of England, and you're about to meet her in about 10 minutes, and you just have to curtsy. Even we'd be flustered by that. Moving on, people have a lot of opinions about the series, and on top of the list of those people is Piers Morgan, who just keeps adding fuel to the fire. In fact, the entire British media does. We get that they shouldn't have aired all of the palace's dirty laundry out in the open like that, and also how Harry seems to have forgotten William when speaking of his mom and family. But Morgan calling them liars and saying Meghan is a race baiter is just super inappropriate and exactly why this documentary was created. As we said earlier, dude, chill. Another shocking comment came from Nigel Farage, former Brexit leader, who called Prince Harry a damaged man and how he was being fooled by Meghan for his money and will soon be dumped once she's had enough. Ouch, that's a very toxic opinion to have, don't you think? Then there was an interview by Kate Middleton's unnamed friend who called out the couple on their lies and said that the palace really hated both of them. She also said that when Meghan entered Harry's life, everyone warned him about her, but he didn't listen, and as a result, she ripped him apart from their lives as everyone thought she would. She also called the docuseries toxic and destructive, which it could be. But then again, those two words can be used for certain British press members too, who really have forgotten that there's a line between criticism and blatant rudeness. After that, here's what Prince William said. It's safe to say that William is not too happy about the whole thing either. He's obviously been upset, and according to some sources, even disappointed about how Harry has used Princess Diana's name and the Panorama interview to his advantage in the documentary. But while people have been saying that this is probably the end of their relationship, a recent update provided that William had a very big brother reaction to the way people were dissing his sibling, saying how he won't tolerate anything negative said about Harry. Aw, guess that's what family does, right? But even though he said it, there's no denying that William was also targeted in the series, especially when Harry subtly pointed fingers towards how the palace was too happy to lie to protect his elder brother when his alleged affair rumors broke out, but weren't willing to do anything for him and Meghan. Again, we don't know how true that is, but let's just say that the palace is not reacting well to the entire thing, true or not. Next, Harry and Meghan are dissed by the family. In more ways than one, let us tell you. First came the subtle demotion, when their names were moved to the bottom of the list, just before the Duke of York. Then came the diss by the Dutch royals, who refused to host them in the Netherlands, which they were visiting to attend the Invictus Games back in April of 2022. Then came Daisy Cousins, who said that Meghan is no one special and should stop considering herself as such. After that was the news where apparently William told them both to back off and not tarnish the family name in their upcoming documentary. Even rumors of King Charles saying they had no part to play in the royal family surfaced, making further rounds in the media as to how much the couple was being hated by their family. And the most recent one came with the King's coronation, which the couple has not been invited to yet. Former Conservative leader Duncan Smith mentioned how they were undeserving of attending the event. He even mentioned to the Mail on Sunday that why would they even want to attend the coronation if they hated the royals and the British so much. Other sources have said that they'll definitely be booed by the public if they decide to show up. So yeah, the disses keep coming in, and in the weirdest of fashions, including the royals denying Meghan's other claim about inviting her niece, Ashley Hale, to the wedding. Basically, the same reason they may have denied it is that of Samantha Markle's comments about Meghan, where she even called her Princess Pushy and was pretty against her relationship with Harry. In the show, Meghan says she was advised by the palace not to invite Hale because it would be difficult to explain why she attended the wedding and her mother didn't. Meghan also explained how painful it was to tell Ashley this news and subtly hinted how it was another jibe at her being an outsider. But the palace aides have mentioned how even this is a lie. To be fair, this just seems like hearsay at this point. We have Meghan on one hand speaking her truth as she knows it, or at least what we believe is the truth, and then there's the palace on the other hand, supporting the royal family and with the British press rallying up to them and hating on the couple equally. So, who do we believe? The people appearing on the show, or the people talking behind it or not appearing on it? Let's talk about Meghan's old friend, Jessica Mulroney. Jessica Mulroney, her stylist from Suits and a very good friend who is also involved in her wedding preparations, Jessica is someone Meghan held very dear, so much so that she FaceTimed her right before Harry proposed. That's how close they are, or were, according to the Daily Mail, which published a pretty vague news article of a cryptic message Jessica shared on her Instagram post Harry and Meghan's release. This message, which she shared in her story, says, "The best thing I ever did was learn how to move without the crowd." Now, this could mean anything. It could mean she was done pandering to the masses. It could also mean she was done being close to Meghan, who was obviously part of a bigger picture now. We may never know. But according to the article, the fact that Mulroney didn't appear once in the first 3 episodes of the docuseries means she probably had a falling out with Markle. Finally, is the Duchess losing her friends? Now, let's not jump the gun. Firstly, if they had fallen out, it's probably because of the altercation Jessica had with blogger Sasha Exeter, who called her out for her white privilege when they had a discussion about the Black Lives Matter movement. This caused a lot of shows to drop Jessica entirely, and she did become a little withdrawn from social media after. So, claiming that the Duchess is losing her friends because of the documentary could be a stretch. In fact, sources suggest that they're still close as ever. But that doesn't mean the Duchess is losing other parts of her family, especially her in-laws. That ship seems to have sailed a while back. Whether she reconnects with them is a question we're all asking ourselves. Guess that's something that only time and the royal family can tell us next year. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of the palace's reaction to Harry and Meghan? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.